Okay, good morning, Yera. Are you there?
Good morning po, sir.
Okay, so maraming mga ano ngayon ah. So let's pray for your classmates, no? Some are busy, some are sick, some are
Yes
doing
po,
other
sir.
things, no? But nevertheless, we should continue
Mm.
because this is now our week 7. Did you receive
Yes.
your prelim exam result already?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So how was it?
Thank you po.
Actually, I don't know if Dale told
Ay,
you. The exam is only 700 points, not 790. So the 90 points there are flexible points. So that
uh,
yun, 700 lang siya.
okay
I will
po.
compute it as 700, uh not 790. Okay? So in fact, that's more comprehensive because
Okay po.
I got it from the link that I have provided to you, the media fire. I think 30% of the questions
Yes,
came.
sir.
Also combination of the book, some of the discussion notes, and that link. But ano pa rin kulang pa rin, hindi pa nagpasa nung ating ano no, nung ating assignment, yung discussion, yung inyong outline, no?
Yung
Reflection
reflective
question I
summary
think
po,
one
sir?
one or two are still not submitting.
Oh,
So, yun, I'm thinking
dalawa.
how what will be siguro one or two would pop up, then we'll continue, no? So that anyway, this is a recorded session. Pwedeng balikan. Pero hindi
Yes
ko alam
po.
kung binabalikan ng mga absent yung recorded session. Kasi based on the views, it's very small number of views since even the previous sessions that we have, no? So sana balikan nyo kasi saka ika-clarify ko yung inyong yung inyong final project, no? There might be some questions.
Oo nga po, sir.
I will since downloaded na-upload ko na lahat ng modules. So, talagang chinaga ko tong book natin. Ito. It's
Yes po,
not easy
sir.
to scan this actually. In fact, my scanner is not heavy duty. It's just a portable scanner with printer. Unfortunately, the printer part is non-functioning already. What I have is just the scanner part of the printer scanner.
Mm.
Copy your setup. So buti nga gumana pa yung
Opo.
gumana pa yung scanner part, no. So maganda to pero kung makakabili kayo okay lang kung if ano. But I already uploaded siguro 99% of the content. I just keep some portion intentionally, but just a few pages and irrelevant to the material itself. Saka hindi ko na in-scan yung mga spaces. Kaya if you have scanned already the PDF file, there are some missing page numbers because it's just a blank
Yes
page.
po,
So
sir.
we don't scan blank
Napansin ko.
pages anymore.
Pero okay lang po, sir.
Yeah, it's very impractical for me to scan a blank page. So I hope you could continue reading, no. So one would pop up, then we'll start. Kasi ano talaga medyo may agenda
Yes
muna
po, sir.
natin yung clarification of your project as well as your your reading assignment for midterm. Sasabihin ko na. Oh, welcome Melanie. Yon. Ayan,
Morning,
tatlo na tayo.
sir.
Good
Good
morning,
morning, sir.
Howell.
Good morning, sir.
Ayan. So, okay na. So, sabi ko kanina may dalawang magpapat.
Morning
Tuloy
po.
na tayo.
Ano ba?
So, we welcome you in our week 7. I hope and pray you receive already your scores. By the way, your scores are not over 790. It's just 700. Okay? Naka-morning devotion na naman ako. Yun. Na-switch ko palagi dun sa church team. So anyway, so we welcome you to our week number 7. We miss 2 weeks consecutive due to the what you call that? Chinese
Yes
New
po,
Year.
sir.
I remember Chinese New Year.
Celebration.
That's why I need to give you the reading assignment until module 6. No, instead of discussing, though wala na talagang time kailangan na lang basahin 'yon. That's why and also of course the missions conference. So 2 weeks tayong nawala, no? Tama ba? 2 weeks. And then the exam, we don't have lectures. Kaya parang 3 weeks tayong walang lecture. Kasi during the exam, I don't lecture. Kaya nga exam time yan eh. So, I don't know if other professors would lecture on an exam week, no? I don't do that because yung focus ng estudyante ay sa exam eh. So, you don't lecture on an exam week. Lalo we agree on 3 examination weeks. So, automatic yan, walang lecture. It's just submission of project if that's a project or taking of the final exam. So, we don't mix up these two. Though, sometimes we need to catch up. And I have thought on that, no? Kaya lang hindi siya magiging healthy sa inyo. Lalo na checking on your I manually check that, no. I don't computer generate the result. Though I may do that because some items are multiple answers and Google Forms don't have a graded what you call that welcome Ann on our lecture week number 7, and we don't do that and the computer won't score you on a graduated sense. It's just 0 or 1 for Google Forms, no? So I need to manually overwrite that. 'Di ba may mga good morning Ana, may mga items dyan na ilang items yung choices, 6 items, pero puro tama pala yun. Na some of the choices are all correct. Now, though there are difficult cases that nothing on the choices is correct. May mga ganung mga test item ako na encounter, no? At yan, it could be a probable board exam item, no? Just like the readings that you have, the media link, no? Now, I hope you could share that media link to others who have not submitted on time their outline, no? Outline and their summary, reflective summary. Okay? So, okay. Sige, siguro tuloy-tuloy na rin ako, no? Kahit na I know some of you are sick, some of you are busy in ministry. That's purely understandable on my part, on my end. So no worry, but my request that you just catch up. It's your responsibility to catch up whenever you miss sessions. Okay? So I think that's quite logical. As a student, you must have a responsibility of catching up if you're not around, no? Though your valid naman yung reason, though your reasons are valid, no? So I know you're busy persons. Most of you are ministry persons. no? And most of you are really busy. In fact, I'm also busy, no? I don't know if you're tracking down my devotion. I'm doing a devotion daily. Now that's why I'm sharing the link. Though it's not a required viewing, no, I don't require that. It's just for
Yes.
additional because I'm doing a devotional exposition of Mark, Gospel of Mark. I'm now in Mark chapter 7. And mind you, that's already 147 episodes. 147th. So that's how I have a passion. I started last September, last year, even prior to my assignment as an instructor of Bethany. I've been doing that. And then, of course, through our group, no, I could share this, my devotion. No? So, but I'm aware that's in parallel to the college devotion. No, halos magkasabay yung college devotion saka yung devotionals ko. So I'm sharing to you. That's why I'm also busy. Plus some teaching preaching assignments from time to time. So yesterday night I was asked to lead our midweek service. I think I also share on our chat group. I'm not so sure if I shared on our chat group our midweek services and prayer gathering because we are not yet having a physical prayer meeting in our church, though we have our physical gathering already on our Sunday services. But I know some of your churches are already having physical gathering on both of your Sunday and midweek. Am I right? On your midweek services also, as well as
Yes.
Sunday. You already have
Yes po.
physical gathering.
Yes po, sir.
Yes, but in our church, it's only Sundays, Sunday worship. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, uh, our our church uh, still have ongoing online prayer gathering. We call it prayer gathering, prayer meeting in midweek service. But we are actually simultaneous every Sunday. We have online broadcast and physical gathering because the profile of our church members are not confined to a particular city. For instance, in my case, in our church is located in Pasig City, but I'm located here in San Juan. And one family is located in far north of Quezon City. Another family is located in Sampaloc, Manila. If you're familiar with the Metro Manila places, no, you know what I mean. And one family is located in Makati. So, yan, layo-layo kami guys. Hindi kami yung sa
Ang layo.
isang komunidad lang. So that's why during midweek services, we decided to make it fully online for the meantime. But for our physical gathering every Sunday, yan, simultaneous siya. So online and physical gathering. Though I know this quarter, the following quarter, the economy will be more open. So let's hope and pray that we will have we will open also to physical gatherings every Wednesday, not only on Sunday, and more ministry opportunities. So even our truck distribution, so we will or knocking doors in our respective churches more rigorously compared to during the quarantine extreme quarantine restrictions. Okay? Okay, welcome Rena May. Rena, you don't post on the classroom, it's okay to PM or just email to me the assignment. No posting of assignment in the classroom. But it's okay, no problem. If I just saw your is that you? Teka, let me clarify. Oh, yes. You don't upload here. Even only on my personal mail or uh, yeah, or PM. Pero sige, okay, natanggap ko naman yung sa PM, no? Are you there, Rena May?
Yes po, sir.
Oh, wag sa classroom. Wag sa classroom yung submission. Email ko na lang. Yung email ko, eduardo.marin@bbsemp.org. Okay? So, yan yung email address natin. So either it's more formal to send on emails, no, secondary lang yung ating private message sa Messenger. Okay? But it's no problem, no? It's not your fault. Hindi ko naman talaga sinabing wag, no? But next time, no, sa email or PM pag may submission. Though I'm not really asking for submissions on the classroom. It's more on the instructional materials that I'm uploading here on the classroom platform. Okay? Make sense, Rena? But I will be also replying through your
Yes po.
email. I don't know if you already have the link of the media link shared by your classmate or not yet. Because that composes of reviewers, let reviewers for child development as well as this course, facilitating learner-centered teaching. So that material will be useful for not only for this course but also for your let preparations. Okay? So ay ganito na lang, email mo pa rin yung in-upload mo sa Rena May. Email mo pa rin sa email ko. And then magre-reply agad ako ng link. Okay ba 'yon? Para you could resubmit. Anyway, I noted already your submission, but I want you to submit it through my email. Okay, eduardo.marin@bbsemp.org. Okay, yung ating Bethany account. Okay? So, all submissions are, because that's my first instruction is to submit them through the Bethany email. Okay? Now, we're now 5. You're now 5. So, we welcome you on our week number 7. By the way, your score, okay, your score is over 700, not 790. Okay? Are you happy about that? Guys, any reaction?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very
Are
happy.
you happy or not? Kasi kung
Yes,
hindi,
sir. Super happy.
ibabalik ko sa 790 yung
Super
items.
happy.
Ayun, happy kayo. Siyempre, no? The lower
No,
the
no,
denominator,
sir. No, sir. Okay na po yan.
yes. Rule of thumb, the lower the denominator, the higher the score. Okay? So, the lower the denominator or the number of items, the higher the percentage equivalent. Okay? Now, so it's just the 90 items there are what we call flexible items. Because in some cases, the professor may ask you to choose items that will total 700 only out of 790. So, ganun yung sasabihin ng professor sa inyo. O, pipili kayo ng items dyan na magto-total lang ng 700, not 790. Now, the tendency of the student is to just answer items worth 700 and will not complete all of the items. So, I want you to answer all of the items. That's why I have not mentioned that during your exam. And in fact, all of you answer, I think 99% of you answer all of the items. That is worth 790. But however, my score is just for over 700. Now, I know how you know how to compute your percentage, no? So, let me try. Example is if do you have a name Peter here? Peter's score is say 400 over 700. Okay, meron bang gantong score dito? O yan, how will you compute that? Okay, welcome Jonathan.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Okay, no, so if Peter has a score of 400 over 700, very basic ang computation yan. You just divide literally 400 by 700. And what is 400 by 700? Noted, Howell, no problem. No problem. Just come in again if you can. Noted, no problem. So this is 5714. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
0.57.
Thank you po.
Sige. 1.4. Okay? Make sense, guys? Can you follow? I'm teaching how to compute your grade because that's our first agenda, computing your grade.
Yes po, sir.
Okay? So, 400 over 700, that's roughly 57.57 or 14. No, say, approximately 0.57. And then from that 0.57, you just multiply it to 50. Okay, anyone that has an access to calculator? medyo tamad ako mag-compute ngayon eh. So you have 20, what's this? So divided by 2, no? 28.5.
28.5, sir.
Yan, 28.5%. That's already in terms of, not yet. No, not yet. 20, the 28.5 percent, not yet, will be added to 50, which is your constant. No, so meaning his percentage is 78.5%. Kasi nga naman 400 well, roughly in the middle because 350 would be equivalent to 75%. Okay? If he got 350. No, but he got 400, and I know most of you have more than this, no? Some have a line of 5 pa nga, no? So yan. Ngayon, anong implication yan sa prelim natin? Ang implication sa prelim ng 78.5, we will multiply this to 10%. Because exam is 10%, so this would become 7.85% for prelim. For prelim na to, Okay? And then, so for your exam, part, you have your entry is 7.85. Okay. Ayan. So, balik tayo kay Peter. Peter has, say, one late, and one unexcused absence. Pag excuse, paano masasabi excuse? Pag nag-reply ako at sinabi kong okay, either through chat, na wag na guys sa group chat, siguro mas maganda personal message muna. No, personal message nyo ako, no? Magpapaalam kayo. Pero sana mas maganda kung magpaalam kayo ahead of time, guys. Wag yung on the time of your absence. Kasi even in the university, medyo tagilid kayo dyan. Kunyari, nasa UP tayo. Tapos may magpapaalam ka sa prof ahead of time. Magkakaproblema ka, guys. Do you know what I mean? Magpapaalam ka on the day of your absence, today. So, hindi uubra yan sa university, guys. No? Pero syempre tayo, iniisip din natin yung ibang mga aspeto, no? Kaya pinapahintulutan natin. Is Clay and Jane around? I'm speaking in Tagalog. I know Clay is
Yes,
busy. Clay
I'm
is
here.
busy. Is Jane around?
Yes po.
Hi Jane. I thought only
Hi,
Clay
sir.
is
Good morning,
busy.
sir.
Good morning. So, pardon my Tagalog. Now, in the university, you cannot do that. You make an excuse on the day of your absence. No? So, it's not acceptable in the university sense. Wherein your professor are, of course, most of them are non-believers. They don't know its connection to the ministry and something else. But here, siguro we could also practice, though there are things that are really inevitable, meaning we cannot really approximate ahead of time. So if just possible, guys, if you are able to attend the class, you make a notice through PM, personal message to me ahead of time, perhaps at least a day before. no? Except for those, of course, situations that are really urgent, and that will be understandable. But normally, no, you could notify me perhaps at least a day before. Because mind you guys, no, if you will be hired in a secular workplace, the rule of thumb is 3 days ahead. 3 days ahead of time. That's in fact, even if or you're already on the supervisory level, no, so that's the rule of thumb. Notification would be made, no, 2 or 3 days ahead of time, whether that be by absence or a meeting or an activity of the organization. It should be, unless there's an urgent situation, no, unless provided, however. Do that make sense, guys? No, but if you could always notify me at least a day ahead of time. Okay? Because that would have an impact also on my lecture that day. No? So it will have, though I have already contents in my mind, no, but sometimes it may be affected. No, if I have a few students coming in, no, I'm thinking of those who cannot come if they are really reviewing the recorded session or not. No, because I don't have a way to track that. Yes, there are views, but how many minutes did you view the recorded session? No, that's the which I cannot track. I don't have the means to do that. Okay? Do I make sense, guys? Do I make sense on that? So I hope you could you could relay perhaps ahead of time. Whenever there are absence, no, at least a day. Yan, at least a day man lang. Okay naman, reasonable na yung 1 day, no, guys? Minsan bigla lang, katulad nito, at least three of you are express that they cannot come on the class, because of important. I believe it's important. And I agree. Okay, you go ahead. No, pero ano rin it would affect the classes also. Whereas I prepared for 11, then there are only 6 of you that are coming. Okay? No, kasi normally kapag nagli-lecture ko na, hindi ko na ulitin. Kaya nga may recorded sessions tayo, guys. That's the importance of the recorded session. So that those noted, Niera, noted. No problem about that. No, yun. Kaya nga may recorded session, it's your responsibility now to catch up. That's the common response that they receive. Okay, you just catch up when you're already done with that activity. Okay? Now, okay, exam point, 7.85 siya. However, Peter, for example, has 1 late and 1 absence. Now, the perfect score for attendance for the first period is 6%. For every late, there's a corresponding deduction of 0.1. I have thought on this. I have thinking on how we could kasi inisip ko -1 pero I realize 1% is very very high. So it may not be beneficial to the student. So if you think you're late, technically when we say late, ang reference kasi ng late since online class, nauna ako sa inyo. Halimbawa, ang usapan natin 9:15, you pop up by 10 o'clock. So you're already 45 minutes late. No? So that's regardless of we don't know the reason behind. So but technically, you're late. So that's point. Hindi ko na di-distinguish kung late ba ng few minutes lang o late ng mahaba. That's considered already absence, no? In fact, in the rule of thumb, if you are 15 minutes late in the university, guys, now listen to me. For a 1.5 hour class, if you are late by 15 minutes, you're considered absent already on the strictest sense of it. Okay? But we don't really follow that rule as long as you come in and learn something from the class. Okay? Since we are in the online platform. Siyempre, mas stricto pag sa physical classroom. Now, we need to note that. Okay? Okay ba, guys? Any reactions from you? Though I don't make the rules, no, of if you're late by 15 minutes on the agreed time that we have, since our agreed time varies depending on the situation. If I say 9:15, then you come in 10:15, so you're late by 1 hour. No? So I don't make rules that automatically you're absent. I don't. So you just considered as late. Okay, for the purposes of online classes. But for physical classes, it may be different, guys. So, siyempre, kung na-late ka ng 1 oras, ibang usapan na 'yon pag sa physical classroom, guys. 'Di ba? Do I make sense? So, we are just trying to be flexible because we're using online platform. Okay? Do I make sense, guys? Mukhang tahimik nyo. Any comments?
Yes, sir. Noted po.
Noted. Thank you. So, sana nagigets nyo, no? Kasi, my, background. I'm a university lecturer also outside. So, I know the rules outside. I know. Though we don't adopt all the rules. We're just expected to really to be to not just to comply but to really follow these standards, no? Even it's not imposed to you. Okay? Ayan. So, meron siyang isang late. So, it's a deduction for every late is 1.1. And if it's an excuse absent, meaning I have not okayed his or her absent, meaning he just become absent without any notification at all, so that's a deduction of 2%. So that's the imposition. How will I do that? Of course, through your online presence. So I have what you call that? I have a meet attendance recording your online presence during our Google meeting. So I would refer to that. That's one of the objective ways of identifying your online presence. Though there are instances that there are internet problems, no problem. I just would like to see whether you have traces of connection on the Google Meet. Okay? So para hindi ka absent. You might be just considered late. Okay? So if Peter, balik tayo kay Pedro, if Peter has 1 late and absence, so how many deduction for him? So out of the 6%, no? Guys, hindi percentage to yun yung actual score natin Iba to. This might be conventional to other computing methodologies of your professors. So iba. So 0.3 siya ang deduction ko. So ano siya? 5.7%. Okay? So ayan. And then the remaining 14% would be your coursework. Okay, ito na yung coursework natin, guys. Your coursework consists of your required readings and assignment, no? So yung readings and assignment, may due date yan. By the way, later on, I will already declare the due date for our second reading assignment. Okay, para hindi tayo mag-ahol, guys. So you could do that ahead of time. You could submit ahead of time. Don't wait for the midterm examination to come. Okay? Huwag tayong relax sa time, guys. Because I observe some of you are relaxed sa time frame. No? So, yung coursework, yung required submission, dalawang bagay yan, guys. No? There is what we call required submission and there are participation. Okay? Now, I'm still thinking of the required submission, though this will be recorded. And I will impose this, since you're my only edu class, so this is only applied to you. Because 5 of my other subjects are computational, mathematical, so it may not, they don't have required submissions. Since purely participation, both computational and conceptual. No? But for you, we have required one, every period we have one required submission. That is the readings, the outline, as well as the reflective summary of a particular chapter of your Christian education reference, the EPUB. No? I suppose you already have, guys, no? Download this, the EPUB book. All of you should have a copy because I'll be basing my required readings on that reflection. Okay. Now, for your required submission, it's up to me. No, it's up to me whether there will be changes. No, so maximum point for this. I'm still thinking on the weight of the required submission. No? Okay, para mas mabilis, 4%. 4% yan, guys. And then participation, 10%. Medyo iibahin ko, ha. Hindi ito yung nakita nyo dun sa course outline. Though I may be flexible on that. It's just, so 10% participation. Let's look for required submission. So it's up to me for this 4%. Okay, say, Peter complied, submitted, no? But there are, of course, I have comments on that, so I give him 3.9%. Eh sir, paano yung mga hindi nagpasa? Okay, no, iniisip ko pa yung imposition. If you have not passed, if you're late, for late submission, though hindi ko nasabi to nung nakaraan, no? Automatic minus 0.5%. If you have does not submit at all, mabigat na to kasi guys, we're talking your percentage. Non-submission would mean doon sa late, ang meron na agad 0.5. Pero i-evaluate ko pa yon kung 3.5 ba talaga yung grade niya or less. So, subject. But basta maximum niya yung 0.5. 3.5. Okay, for non-submission, itong pinag-iisipan ko pang non-submission na to eh. Sige, for the meantime, no, it's 1%. If you have not submit, you're deducted 1%. Okay, make sense, guys? Question on this?
Yes po, sir. None po.
None, okay. So, yan yung ating mga pinapaliwanag ko na sa inyo para I will be, because this week I'll be submitting your prelim grade to Ma'am Arnie. So, at least you know where I get your grades. For the participation, napakadali niya. No? You just assess yourself whether whenever I throw up questions, you answer. You make sense of the question. Guys, you make sense of the question. No? So, the deduction is multiples of 0.2%. Multiples of 0.2. No, halimbawa, for Peter, ang kanyang, say, ang nakita ko lang deduction sa kanya, 0.6. So, multiples of 0.2 yan. So, it could be 9.8, 9.6, 9.4, no? Etc. Pababa. So, multiples of 0.2 siya. Okay? So, I think, kung, ano ba, as I observe, so Peter deserves a 9.6. Okay? So, yan ay magiging grade nyo for prelim. So, let's just a recap. So, a recap of exam, 7.85. Mahina yung copy-paste ko ngayon. Yun. Okay? So, recap. Because I'll be, within this week, you will receive a PM, a personal message, as far as your computation of the scores is concerned. So, that would be, so exam, meron siyang 7.85. For the attendance, meron siyang isang, halimbawa lang naman to guys, no? 1 late, 1 absent. So, meaning 5.7. Okay? Meron kang, nagpasa siya ng reflection questions, reflective summary natin. So, I score him 3.9. Yung 3.9, yung summary. .9%. And then, yung kanyang participation in general, so, yung participation niya, I mark him 9.6. Okay? Will somebody compute, guys? Though I have my calculator apps, medyo, yeah. Can you compute? Somebody compute for this? This will be your prelim.
I-add lang po, sir.
Yes, this just adding these values.
$27.05, sir.
Okay, sige. Noted yan. $27.05. That would be your score out of 30%. Na supposedly maximum points mo per prelim, you got 27.05. Now, if you will ask me, ano yung percentage niya as far as 100% is concerned? Divide lang natin 27.05 divided by 30%. That's 90. Yung kanyang prelim grade, prelim percentage is 27.05, prelim grade niya, yung PG, prelim grade is just dividing the two. 27.05 divided by 30. Pansin nyo guys, baliktad yung sistema ko. Some of the professors will give you the range of scores first for 100% and then multiply it to whatever percentages of the prelim. For me, baliktad. Kunin mo muna yung percentage, then we could, as required by the grade sheet, I need to reflect on this. No? So this is equivalent now to 90.166% for the prelim. Okay? Do you have some thoughts on this? Clarification? Clarification,
None,
guys.
sir.
Maliwanag ba? Exam, you know how to compute your exam? It's
Opo,
very
sir.
objective. Attendance?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Although I'll be personally computing this, no? So, attendance based on your traces on the Google Meet. That's the only way that I could look your attendance. Pero kung makita ko naman na maximum yung log-in logout mo, it's already present. No? And then yung submission na 4% is 3.9. Then participation, which will vary, 9.6%. Increment of 0.2 for the submission, 0.5 or 1 pag non-submission. So, I think I already thought on that. So, I think that's a fair enough grade for Peter. What do you think? Is it a fair enough grade? Imagine mo ang exam niya 400 over 700 lang, guys, ha. 'Di ba? May mga professor, exam lang ang requirement. Guys, look at Peter's performance.
Yes, yes, sir.
Nakikita nyo ba? Peter's score is just 400. If the professor would say, okay, your prelim grade is your prelim exam score. O, ano dapat ang score ni Peter? 78.5. Okay? Do you think you will be happy to receive 78.5? Of course not. You deserve better than that, guys. What do you think? That's why we incorporate the attendance, 6%. Though yung iba kasi may ibang filosofiya sa attendance eh. Attendance yan, sir eh. Automatic na yan. Pag wala sila, hindi sila makakapag-exam. Lalo na sa online platform, kailangan talaga ng attendance. Your mere attendance is already an effort for the student eh. That's my concept on this. That's why I included 1% per session for the students. Okay? So, madali na i-comply yan. Yung required submission natin, madali rin i-comply ito. What do you think, guys? It's just a reflection summary or outline. Part 1, Part 2 is your reflective summary on a single page. Okay? So, ayan. Out of 4%, no? So, increment ito ng 0.1. So, 3.9. So, you receive 3.9. And then, participation. So, ayan. Multiples of 0.2. Okay? So, how do you feel on Peter's grade, guys? Knowing that his exam grade is only 400 out of 700.
Mataas pa din, sir, kasi sa participation niya and then sa attendance po.
Okay, correct. Good observation. Kaya dun tayo, yun ang pang-balance natin. Okay, so I don't rely only on exams. Though your exam may look comprehensive. I have two purposes on that. Of course, for the course itself, and secondly, for your LET preparation. Ganyan yung mga kategorya ng mga tanong, guys. Nakakalito yung iba multiple answers. Pero sa LET, hindi siya talaga multiple answers na may mga checkbox, no? Hindi siya... Okay. Okay, noted dyan. Yes. Sa LET exam, guys, ganito, i-enumerate niyo yung mga items. Normally, Roman numeral yan. Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pero ganito ang mga choices. A, 1 and 2. B, 1 and 3. C, 1, 2, 3. D, 4 only. E, none of the above. O ang implication niya, multiple choices pa rin, guys. Yun lang, pag shinadean mo when you shade it in your in your board exam answer sheet, it should be only one answer, indicating multiple answers. Okay, did you get it, guys? But it's still multiple answers.
Yes, sir.
Okay? For instance, there will be enumerated 3 items, 3 probable answer. And then the choices are letter A, 1, letter B, 1 and 2, letter C, 1, 2, 3, letter D, none of this. Yun, something like that. Still require multiple answers. Though in the forms, I may not do that. That's why I use a checkbox rather than just a bullet, a circular bullet format. Okay? Okay, are there clarification on your grades? By now, you are computing in your mind your standing on me. With some assumptions given in your attendance. If you're perfect in the attendance, make it 6%. If you have submitted your required assignment, no, perhaps you could score yourself 4% also. Then on the participation, if you think you answered satisfactorily all of the, or you have at least participated or contribute to the knowledge of the class, no, so you could score yourself a perfect score as well, 10%. But of course that's theoretical, no, you could it's just an assumption. At least by now you could gauge now your grades, guys. You could am I right on that? You could gauge now your at least the range of your percentage. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for that response. Now, clarification regarding your final project. Now, for the final project, you already received your 26 modules, no? Okay. I have a loading files here, so wait for a while. Did I open in a word of prayer, guys? Already? Not yet.
No, sir. Not yet po.
Okay, hindi muna tayo. Kasi kakahintay namin kanina ni ano eh. Sino ba yung nauna sa atin? Si ano? Is it you ano?
Tunay po.
Nyera.
Tunay po.
Kami lang dalawa ni Nyera
Yes
nag-uusap
po,
kanina
sir.
dito. Siguro mga 10 to 15 minutes na kami nagkukwentuhan. We're talking and then you pop up. No, that's why we forgot already to pray. Okay, let's pray first. No, it's really funny but of course we need to ask the presence of the Lord. Since we are already majority of you, you're 6 of you. 6 out of 11. So it's a majority. Okay, as we continue. Okay, let's pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity that we gather once more in this online platform for EDU115. I pray, Lord, for these education students, for their passion to teach, for their ministry, for their passion for the gospel, for them to reach for the lost soul, Lord, that they have make use of these teaching opportunities, learning opportunities, so that they will learn, they will apply these principles even in their respective ministries, Lord. We ask for your guidance, Lord, as we have some clarifications even in their grades and other matters, Lord, that we may continue today. Bless your young people, Lord, that they have committed themselves for the cause of the Lord Jesus Christ, that they will glorify your name, even as they progress on their teaching professions sooner or later. We thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you for your presence in our midst. This is our prayer in Christ's name. Amen. Okay. Ayan. Nawala na sa isip ko kasi tuloy-tuloy yung si Peter kasi. Kasalanan ni Peter to, guys eh. It's Peter's fault. Then joke. That's a joke, of course.
Amen, sir.
Ayan. It's Peter's fault, no? Sinisi pa si Pedro. It's just an example, no? I don't know if okay, regarding the project. The coverage of the project is modules 1 to excuse me. Medyo yung kailangan kong uminom ng kape, guys. Pasensya na. Okay, you already received your uploaded. I already uploaded modules 1 to 26, guys. Am I right? It's available now on the classroom.
Opo, sir.
You have I suppose
Yes
the
po.
groups
Yes, sir.
have downloaded. And you're grouped into 3. So 3 groups. you decided on the membership of each of the group. I still have even that then the group name is here, no? So you're really created. I really appreciate your creativity. So the big three, who are the big three guys? Can you raise your hand? Ayan, the big three is AJ, Clay, and Jane. Okay? So that's the big three. And then second group, for sure, anti-gutom, no? I'm not so sure about the history of this group name. Eunice, Melissa, Howell, and Dale.
Tutupin po.
For sure, anti-gutom. So, hindi ko alam kung palaging busog yung grupo na to o ano. And number 3, the ambassadors.
They're just
Nera, Melanie, Name, and Joy. So, that's or Jonathan. Ayan, or Joy. Tama, no? Oo nga, 3 pala pangalan ni Jonathan eh. So, ayan. So, these are the groupings that we have. Okay? So, as far as we know, even prior, you have these 3 groupings. Now, the objective of the grouping is for you to distribute responsibilities. Whether you will, each of the members, this is a suggestion, but it's up to you, no? Members would take care of a specific module, assignment, or a member could handle a specific part of the module. Dalawa yung diskarte dyan, guys. Ito, sinasabi ko na sa inyo yung approach. This is the approach or combination. A member could receive a combination of a specific module or a specific part of another module. Okay? I will explain this, no? Or combination, combi. I'm giving already a head start to the leaders also of the group, no? Now, for each of the module, there's what we call, for instance, no, I would refer to module 4. Mas kompleto tong module 4. So the responsibility is to satisfactorily supply the requirements of the extension part. The extension part, or sometimes we call it the extend part, meaning this is already the application. The extend. Actually, maraming extension dito, guys, no? So there are extension in terms of research, no? Of course, you have already you could always make use of your Google skills here, guys. So I don't have a doubt on that, no? You could also extend by application, no? There are some specific requirements here. So you just need to comply whatever is stated here. Okay? And then you have the extension by application, by research, no? So you just need to identify the problem. Huh? I suppose you browse already the module, no? This is consistent for every module, no? The application by research. So the
yes po,
problem,
sir.
you just need to copy. For instance, this is related to student diversity. There are voluminous researches about student diversity. Just copy the thesis title. That's already the problem title. Eh. And then the research methodology, you could just describe whether it's quantitative or qualitative. Ay guys, by the way, may research class na kayo, no? We're already done with your educational research or
Yes, sir. Last
Yes,
time
sir.
po.
okay, you know what I mean, no? It's good. So, research methodology, you just indicate whether it's a qualitative research, quantitative, no? What are the methods, no? In fact, you could look for the the synopsis of the paper, not the entire paper. Because the entire paper, if that is a dissertation or thesis, that is approximately 100 to 150 pages. You don't need to read that. You just need to read on the synopsis or the summary of the research wherein there is an indication of problem. You just indicate the problem statement. Ito guys, no? Pakita ko sa inyo. Ay, hindi pala kita sa camera ko. Ayan, nakikita nyo guys?
Yes po.
Yes po,
Ito yung
sir.
tutukoy natin, no? So, yung research methodology just indicate qualitative research, quantitative research, and other variations, no? And then the findings, what are the results? Now, based on the problem, you will have the findings. If the problem is a correlation study, the findings would be related to that correlation study of what variable. No? So, related guys yung problem, sasagutin ng findings. The findings will answer the problem. Okay? You just copy-paste that from that synopsis or summary of the research. Don't read the entire research. It will have much time. And then conclusion recommendation, it is also indicated in the paper, guys. Okay? So it's more on your Google skills and how you organize your copy-paste technique. Though I'm sound sir naman, binubuking kami. No, it's not. It will be useful here, guys. For extend by research, no. And then another thing that you need to comply with is the evaluation part. Evaluation. Yeah, there are okay. There are requirements that are actual. You don't need to do the actual thing. You just need to be creative on how to present it in a paper, no? Or hindi nga paper, soft copy, guys, no. I'll just require you a soft copy submission of this, whether in Word document or PDF. Okay? So if the requirement is an actual participation or actual attendance, you don't need to do that. What you need to do is a paper or I would say a record that would represent that. Halimbawa, ang sabi dito, make posters and have student diversity exhibit. You don't need to organize an exhibit. What you could do is to represent that exhibit in a capsule form. Maybe what will be the content of the exhibit. No? You don't need to do the actual performance, guys. No? What you're gonna do is to capsulize that and incorporate that to your paper to be submitted. You don't need to perform the actual. Okay? Kasi marami dito mga actual performance pa eh. No, but if it is doable, halimbawa yung mga survey ng bata, no, there are cases here that you need to survey for a response to a kid, a teenager, and an adult student. So you could do that. Of course, it's practically possible, and you could record the responses, no. But most of the requirements here are theoretical, guys. So you don't need to perform them. You don't need to execute them. You just need to record what needs to be presented or executed. And then, of course, I want you to answer the 5-minute non-stop. Yun lang naman yung portion na yan. So, this just kumbaga, what comes in your mind, pop up in your mind. Yes, is somebody... Okay, you want to talk, Rena May? Your audio is not that clear.
I saw it for the
Okay, come again. You want to,
I saw it po. I just saw it po while I'm reading the modules po.
Oh, yes. Okay. Actually, I'm discussing parts of the module, no, for it to be submitted for your submission as your final project. Ayan. Okay. Ayun. Okay, sige. Okay, guys, no. So, the 5-minute non-stop is just kumbaga, what comes in your mind after you have learned instantaneous to, no, yung 5 minutes. Dapat supposedly, kung actual classroom tayo, after the module, you will submit this to me immediately. So that's supposedly the case if we will have conduct a physical classroom. However, it's not possible. So yan. So you could also do the 5-minute non-stop writing, the 5-minute requirements. So now, for every module, there are variations of this. Okay, so some may have research, some may have other things, no? Like yung module 1. Okay, screen.
Excuse me po, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, yung gagawin po naming modules, saan po kami mag-start? Sa 1 po?
Yes, you will start at module 1.
So, ang i-divide po namin is module 1 to 26 po, right, sir?
Okay, that's one strategy. I was saying a while ago, you could the leader or the group could decide up as to what specific module you will do. No, that's one strategy. Another strategy is part of the module. Kumbaga,
Yes.
Okay
siya
po.
lahat ng 5 minutes, no? This particular member will cater only to all 5 minutes. 5-minute requirement, or perhaps 1 or 2 of you will take care of the 5-minute requirement, and somebody else would take care of the extension by research, or somebody else will take care of the other or extension by reflection, something like that. So it's up to the group or combination. Okay, so that's how you could strategize whether you
Okay
divide
po, sir.
the project in terms of the module or part of the module. That's what I'm saying a while ago. So you could perhaps you could assign somebody for just a research, or perhaps dalawa kayo, 1 or 2, kasi medyo mabigat yan, 26 modules. Or you could divide the 26 modules by 3, depending, or by 4, depending on the contents. Okay? So anyway, the deadline would be on our week 18 pa. Whatever the date, no? So the deadline for this, so it will be just submitted in Word document and then save as also as PDF. So Word document lang siya. Same format as the reflective summary format. Okay? The reflective summary format. Now it's up to you to for this project, you may freely use the font style or the I won't mind, no? Basta it will make sense on the presentation. No, you change the background, no? Pero still in Word document, guys. You submit this in Word, not in PowerPoint. And then, no, somebody asked me if we will present, no? Now I will answer that. So deadline week 18 during our final period, final exam. So though this will be your final project. Okay. Now, here's somebody asked me, I don't know if who asked me about this, that there will be presentation. Yes, there will be presentation on the final exam on one assigned module. No, we will draw lots that per group. So we will draw lots the 1 to 26 among you. No, pero this will be done perhaps on week 18 or week 17. Because week 18, you will just have a simple presentation of or perhaps I'll make it a little earlier, no, so that you will have preparations on the presentation. Perhaps on week 13, after the midterm exam, week 13 is the assigned drawing of module presentation. One per group. So until week 12, you still don't know what to present. So then week 13, I will draw lots the 1 to 26 will be assigned to you one module for presentation. Okay, you could make some activity, you make your classmates participate on the activity. Okay, perhaps that's good only for 30-minute presentation. 30 minutes lang. So the presentation will be done also in week 18. Week 18, presentation of module. Okay, clarification. Questions?
Clear naman po, sir.
Okay, clear yung task natin, no? So, but it's up to the group, no? I won't mind if you will divide it in a specific module or part of the module or combination. It's up to you. You analyze first perhaps. You have a quick reading of all of the modules, then identify which is longer, which is shorter, which is related. Now, of course, everything is related there in a module because that would this is governed under the psychological principles of learning. All of the material is anchored on the 14 psychological principles of learning in chapter 2. Okay, so everything is interrelated one to another. Okay, so it's up to you guys whether you use specific module or part of the module. You could identify the format, perhaps the margin. You could make use of other font style if you want. No problem, because Times New Roman is too old to be used, so you choose your own font style for this. Okay, and then so the deadline of our final project would be week 18, whichever is the date, no? That's the week 18. And then we will be drawing, week 13, we'll be drawing the module presentation, one per group. Okay, so that you may present in week 18, a 30-minute presentation that approximates your answers to that specific module. Okay? So you may elicit participation from the other classmates that are non-members of the group. Perhaps making activities that is relevant to the learning of that particular module. Okay? So it's up to you guys. You have a longer time. So since we are now on week 7, so you have 11 weeks more, guys, to do this. In fact, it's more advantageous physically because I noticed that the big 3 is only 3. So they would divide the work more compared to those group that has 4 members. Okay? So I think but it's up to the leader. It's still the leader's prerogative whether he divide it in terms of the modules or the part of the modules. Okay? Other thoughts before we proceed with the other concerns? This time I'll be assigning the reading assignment ahead of time. Other thoughts, guys? Or
Okay naman po, sir.
okay? Okay. How about others?
Noon po.
Okay, sige.
Noted, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay po.
Okay, noted. Thank you. Now, your reading assignment, I'll be as early as today, no? The reading assignment, there will be 2 reading assignments this midterm for you. Okay, deadline. Deadline is on week 11:59 p.m. before week 12. Meaning before midterm exam, that Thursday night before our week 12, which is our midterm exam, that's the deadline of the assignment. Whichever date is that will fall, So it's week 12. It's 11:59 p.m. before week 12. Okay, make sense, guys? So that's this will also apply to our final because we still have one reading assignment in the final period. Now, choose one. The instruction here is choose one from chapters. Let me check. On our Christian education reference, same instruction, guys, no? You will outline. First instruction, outline. Maybe just occupy one-third, no? One-third of the, but it's up to you, no? Pero wag nang puro outline, tapos konti na lang yung summary, no? So, you need to balance. So,
Same format po, sir.
same format. First part is the outline. You outline the readings and then reflected summary. Only one page. Single page lang siya. Okay? Same instruction. However, this time you will have two. You will have two. So, I need to increase the percent of this. So, 7. So, choose one from chapter 7 to 10. One only. You choose one. And then, choose another one. Choose one from chapters 11 to 18. Only one. Yan. Because the topics are interesting, guys. For instance, teaching and learning in humanities, teaching and learning sciences, teaching and learning mathematics. If you are a math major, you should choose that. Teaching in education, that's chapter 17. No, so it's up to you. You just choose one from chapters 1 to 17 or chapters 11 to 18. So you will be submitting two reflective summary submissions. Also on my email. Okay? So that will be submitted before our week 12, which is technically 11:59 p.m. before week 12. So it's still a Thursday, guys, right? 11:59 p.m. Kasi pag nag-12 noon na yan, it's already week 12. So I'll treat that as a late assignment already. So there's a deduction of 0.5 automatically. So this time, so each reading assignments would correspond to 4%. So you will receive 8% because dalawa yung require kong reading assignment. So 4% each. Again, 10% is for your midterm exam and the remaining 12% will be divided to your attendance, which is 6%. And then, I think this is too much. This is too much, guys. Maybe just 6%, 6% for the reading assignment. Then, of course, another 6% for the attendance. This is constant. And then, of course, 10% is the exam for the submission or reading assignment submission. This 10% for the 6% for the attendance, and then 10% for the midterm exam. I'm talking here of the midterm already. So what remains? So 22. So you have 8% participation. So totaling 30% for your midterm grade. Okay? Question, clarification? Anyway, this discussion notes will be also uploaded later. Also with the recorded session. Sayang mga wala, hindi nila, I don't know if they have clarifications on this. Okay, question. Question, guys.
None so far po, sir.
Okay, understand ba yan?
None, sir.
So,
Okay
I'm
na po.
expecting, this time, I'm expecting a 100% submission. 11 of you should pass the required assignment because this is already 6%.
Yes po, sir.
Okay? So sana naman, no? In fact, this is fair because I give it ahead of time. You still have 5 weeks to go. Or yeah, at least 5 weeks because it's just 11:59 p.m. before week 12. It's just 1 minute away of week 12. Okay? So at least you already have an idea of my exam type. So you'll be expecting on the midterm again another perhaps between 700 to 800 points. But I will not tell yet. No? Just like our prelim exam, I never told you that I will be flexible on the prelim exam, which is not 790, it's just 700. So expect a midterm score between 700 to maybe 850. So that's how I good for the maximum time of 2.5 to 3 hours. No problem. You could maximize the time during week number 12. Okay, what else? Other thoughts, guys? Other concerns? We'll just have some recap of the previous chapters. Then, I'll introduce another activity to you. Yes, Rina, are you saying something? Rena May, are you saying something?
None po.
Ay, ano lang, static lang ba yan? Kasi nakita ko may audio. Okay. Sige.
Wala. None po.
Ayun, siguro static lang siya. Okay, noted. How about the rest, guys? How are you guys? At it seems that meron bang you have other concerns outside our subject? Guys? Or nahihirapan ba tayo?
No, sir.
Mahirap ba yung course?
We're taking notes po, sir.
Okay, sige. Kasi I just felt that you're pressured already. It's already midterm.
Wala naman po, sir.
Walang pressure si John. Ayan.
Kinakaya po.
Kinakaya sa biyaya ng Panginoon. Yan ang attitude. That's the right attitude. So, kape tayo, guys. Okay. So, moving along. So, okay na tayo. Clear na tayo dito sa ating score, no? Anyway, I'll just PM to you within this week, no? So, ano yung score nyo? So, this is how we compute it. No? It's clear to you as well as the clarification of the final project. So, meron pa bang question dito? So, it's up to the leaders now, guys, no? Whether you divide it specific module or part of the module. Okay? Now, how will I grade that? Maybe you ask me. Okay, so good question. I won't set percentage, but I will look at the content. Content in terms of the learning opportunities. Learning from the content. Not as your professor, but on the perspective of the student that will be reading your submission. I'll be acting as a student like you. How will that impact my learning on this course? No? So, content. I'll be flexible on these percentages, guys. No? But sooner or later, maybe I will come up with the specific percentages. But I'm just telling you what areas you need to emphasize. No? Of course, if there are content, there's organization. Okay? There's how you organize. Is it well organized? No? In terms of yung arrangement niya, yung organize yung material. Kasi minsan, the presentation is good, but sometimes, how you organize things, no, need to be developed. Meaning, the connections for point A to point B. No, may mga connecting points kasi yan, guys. So, how will you do that? Organization. I will also sense your teamwork effort here. Teamwork effort. Now, based on the submitted document, I will sense the the teamwork effort. Okay, by the way, siguro I would say that okay, anyway, this will be I will know this during the presentation of the modules. I will just throw out questions. Okay, so teamwork efforts it's also okay to important to me, no? As well as how you creatively communicate. Creativity on the presentation itself. There's artistic. Most of you are artistic. Some of you are global thinkers rather than ako linear. Honestly, I'm a linear guy. Now, most math majors are linear. Tama ba? Mga math majors? Sino bang mga natirang math major dito? Wala yatang math major. Puro kayo mga English language saka LM, no? Tama ba? Walang natira. Nasaan na yung mga
Yes,
math
sir.
major ko? Oy, I'm a minority here. Joke. You know, as a math major, as an engineer by profession, I'm a linear thinker. No? So I may not see some creativity along the side. I just pass through. No, that's why I'm more of an input-output man. Input process output. No, hindi ako masyadong global na tumitingin on the side, which are actually helpful on the learning process. So I would like to see how creative are you on this effort. In fact, you could rearrange the presentation depending on your perspective. It's up to you. I'm giving you flexibilities on how you will comply or answer to this evaluation and extension. No? Dalawa yan, extension or extend, evaluation, or the evaluate portion, including the 5-minute thing that you should write up. Actually guys, every module completion in an actual classroom, it's a requirement. Yun lang, we miss this I may not require that here in the online platform, but I need to see this in your final project. Okay, so far if there are others you may want to suggest on how you'll be evaluated on this project, final project, guys. Are there any other aspects that I have not seen that you think it's important as far as this final project is concerned? So these are my thoughts on this. No, I will look at your content, the learning opportunity on reading the content as a student, not as a professor. I would like to see your organization, how you organize your thoughts. It's important to me. How you organize the material, and also that would be reflected of your teamwork. I will sense the teamwork on the paper as well as the final presentation of one module. And then also I will sense your creativity in communicating this information to the readers, most especially to the students. Think that this project is intended for the students, not the professor. Or May, are you saying something?
Ay, sorry po. Sorry
It's
po.
okay. I thought you're
Na-open
saying
ko po
something.
yun.
Okay. Noted. Oh, Jane. Welcome, Jane. How are you, Jane?
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, it's okay. No
Sorry,
problem.
sir. Lost connection because in my company they make the Wi-Fi maintenance, but finished po. I can connect now.
Okay, no problem. Just catch up with our video. Perhaps this afternoon or
Opo.
evening, I would upload the recorded session. No problem. It's a good thing that you're
Opo.
here.
Yes po. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So other thoughts on this, guys? So these my 4 major guidelines on how to grade your coursework or your project, final project rather. Unless you will suggest other criteria. Guys, are you there?
Thinking po, sir.
Thinking. Sige. Baka may iba pang areas of concern of evaluation. This is the one that I will look, no? Content learning, organization, team
Yes,
effort,
sir.
creativity. How about others? You may add to the others, guys. Kasi if I think you're excellent on these 4 criteria, I could give you the entire score for that. Maximum score of 40%. Remember, it's 40. Tama ba? I will recall you a recorded session, no? Whether because 30 supposedly the exam is 20. I think it's minimum of 20% as far as I recall. Minimum because I'll be getting 10 from the final period and another 10 from the coursework. So that will make it 20. The remaining 10 of the final exam would be perhaps a combination of other requirements such as reading assignment as well as your presentation. So this would have a minimum of 20%, this project component. So minimum to, guys. I will still look whether it could be 25 or 30% of your work. Minimum of 20%. 20% of 40%. Because for the finals, we have 40%. Okay? So, malaki na yung kalahati na yun. Half of the final requirement. So, at least a minimum of 20%. Okay? Other thoughts?
None na po, sir.
Wala na. Sure kayo? 4 ha? Do you agree on these 4? For guidelines on how I evaluate your project. At least you will be guided. Okay? So, content. What's the term? This is the criteria, right? But I need to have specific, how do you call that, eduk major? That term, I forgot. For your evaluation. This is actually,
Rubrics po.
come again? Yun, narinig ko yung sagot.
Rubrics po.
Rubrics, yes, rubrics. Pero hindi na, I know you know this already, no? Yes, rubrics. Pwede yan. We could always, so that you'll be reminded of the work. Now, I will be updating these 4 criteria and others if they will come up the way. Then some rubrics. Yan, tama. Okay, so okay na? Let's okay na tayo dito, guys. Clarification on our computation of grades for midterm, upper prelim period, as well as the clarification for the final project. So there are many items here. I will upload this immediately later on after our class for our presentation. Then also a reading assignment, which I increased to 6% instead of just 4%. And then these are the criteria for your final project and others if they would pop up.
Okay na po, sir.
Okay na. Sige, let's continue. Let's just recall some of our module that we perhaps most of these are psychosocial theories that you have learned already in your child development, right? Am I right? Child development, because
Yes po,
this
sir.
treated as one cluster, even in the board exam, child development and facilitating learner-centered teaching are considered one cluster. That's why when I uploaded the Mediafire link, no? So you just save the Mediafire link, guys, no? It's on your email. It will be useful to you. At the end of the session, I'll just need to show to you something, guys, no? At the end, I'll promise to you at the end of our course, no, I'll be giving to you the entire let reviewer. That's a promise. If I will not do it, you remind me because I might be forgetful. So, I'll just show to you the Mediafire link.
Okay po.
If you're a math major, it will be advantageous because you will have also your majorship reviewer. But if you're a English language and LM, for LM no problem, no, because you have general ed and prop ed. Unless there is already a component for LM, majorship or wala. Guys, sino ba yung LM natin? Who is the LM student?
Sir,
At
ako
on your let ba,
po, sir.
you have majorship or simply gen ed and prop ed?
Gen Ed and Prof Ed lang po, sir.
Okay. So, swak pa rin yung yung reviewer natin for gen ed. Though this is old, guys, I would say this is old because I took the let examination 8 years ago. So, it's an old reviewer, though the principles behind is not that old. Because educational principles are universal, most of these are universal, it transcends time. Yung mga most special, the principles of teaching, the foundation of inclusive education. So these are timeless principles. So that's why whether okay, no? So I'm showing to you guys my my Mediafire account. I hope you already at least saved the link or downloaded the PDF material. Yan, let review. There. So, I would suggest this, guys, you should have your Mediafire account. So, it has, on my case, I got a pre 55 gigabytes cloud. Okay? It's better than Google Drive. Google Drive, I think, how many lang, guys? 15 gigabytes? Who are using Google Drive?
Yes, sir, 15.
15 lang. OneDrive, it's smaller, 5 gigabytes only. For a free account of OneDrive, Microsoft, it's just 5 gig. How much more with the Dropbox? Dropbox is only 2 gigabytes. That's why I look for a cloud that would store most of my files. So I find Mediafire that has 55 gigs. Another one, guys, is Mesa.nz. No, I already trusted this, no, because I've been using that for I think 3 to 4 years and nothing lost on my files. So I could suggest that also. The Mesa. This one, guys, no? Because sometimes what will happen if your computer or PC crashed? Hardware crash ang
Yes, sir.
nangyari.
Tama
So
po, 15 gigabyte lang.
yung Google, no? 15 gigabyte. But for Mediafire, in my pre-version, I don't know now, I think they're updating. It's just, for my case, 55 gigabytes of pre-cloud space in Mediafire. And another that I would recommend is Mega.nc. So you could download the cloud even in your tablet or mobile phones. This is also free for 50 gigabytes. Yan, it's loading. Yung M, the symbol M is the mega. I'm just showing to you so that your files will be secured. Sometimes there are unexpected crashes on our system, computer system, and you have not backed it up. Sayang yung files, no? But if you could synchronize it to a cloud, yan, it will be better. And one of my recommendations is Mediafire. Yan. Can you see, guys, the content of my reviewer?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, I'm just showing to you because I will give this to you at the end of the sem. It's not to brag around, but I'm showing this to you because I'll give this to you by the end of the sem. All of this, no? What I have given to you is just a portion of professional edu, wherein your facilitating and principles or childhood development is included. You see? This one, no? So facilitating learning and child development are one cluster. In fact, there are only 4 clusters for your professional review. Then you could see also my mock exam when I took the mock exam. No? So it's really an annoying score. It's not a good score for me. However, by God's grace, we're able to pass the exam. Okay, so yan, this portion, facilitating. Okay, so that's the link that I have given to you. Siguro for those who have not received the link, I will paste it now on the chat. Then you just save it. Anyway, it's all for you, no? So yan, yung mga principles na yan. Anyway, the organization is almost the same as the book, though they are arranged differently. Ayan, yung mga... I hope you downloaded some of this already. Okay? One at a time. Okay, noted dyan, Howell. You just reconnect, no problem. Okay, so yan. Also the quizzes, no, the board exams, it's there. The mega is still loading. Anyway, so I'm just showing you some pre-cloud for you guys. This the mega.nc. You could download it through your phone, synchronize on your PC or even in your tablet. But for mega, it's only for web version. As well, there's also Android and Apple version for this. Okay? Siguro I will be pasting on the chat group the link for this because some of you, I know, have not received any link at all. This one, facilitating learning and child and adolescent development. So I'll click this on our file. And you save it already, guys. Please save this. Maybe you could click the link and then you save the link.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You don't need to log in to my Mediafire or you don't need to have a premium account. You just need to download one at a time. That's the, well, in a way, if your internet is fast, no problem about that. Okay, so that's the link I already paste on our chat box. Okay? So, okay, so let's continue. So it will be useful. I promise, guys, if I will be forgetful, remind me. Okay, remind me. I will share all of this to you. Even my PNU. In fact, I already have the 2018 edition of the PNU reviewers. It's more updated. Then I have other assorted reviewers here. And then of course, if you're sayang walang math major sa inyo. What happened to my math majors? Where are you? Wala. Anong nangyari sa ating math majors? I know AJ is sick. We pray for AJ. Okay, noted, Maureen. Noted. Yes. We all have our network issues from time to time. Now we have our network issues. Ayan, so eto guys, this is my recommendation, no? So if you would like to, ayan, 50 gigabyte free pa rin siya. Ang laki niyan para sa mga files, no, yung mga reviewers, no. Sometimes you upgrade your PC.
I'm using that.
Yes, sometimes we need to, kasi kung may cloud, if you have a cloud storage, you could always synchronize that to any device, whether that be mobile, tablet, or PC. Kasi I experienced before, no, losing important files, no, because of hardware issues before, no. That was siguro maybe 10 years ago or more than that. Now where security is still hard, or internet connection still hard, and also the hardware is not that high. So there are issues in the hardware of PC. I lost everything. And it's hard to duplicate, when you don't have a backup files. I remember I also have USB. You know what's the size of the USB, guys? There's this USB that is 1 gig. Nabutan nyo ba yon? Or less than that? Actually, I have a USB that is 512 megabytes. Guys, nabutan nyo ba yon? Hindi nakaabot ng ganong kababang USB. I got also
Yes po, sir.
256 megabytes. Wow. Even one high definition movie
Yes,
cannot
sir. Opo.
yes. Now even a one high definition movie cannot be because one high definition movie is at least 1 gigabytes. So if you just have 256 megabytes, so no. So, and of course the viruses, no? Trojan horses are prominent 10 years and 15 years ago. Though now it's still there in a different situation, no? So yan. So yan, it's good to have cloud, guys. I suggest this to you. I would encourage you to back up your files through this. No, it's not really for purposes of preserving the files. In fact, I have files that is 10 years ago, because my media player is so old already. So I preserve much of my files here, even my seminary files, even my Sunday School materials, and some of the authors. Yan, yung mga books nila, nandiyan naka-install. So that when somebody from among you will ask me for a resource material, I could just directly open my media player and send them the link for them to download. So that as easy. Nagiging mabilis na yung accessing ng files because of the clouds. Because if you will install it just in your PC, you might be forgetful when you locate, or when you locate that file on that particular part of your PC. Sometimes we're forgetful about that. Okay, so sige, I hope it's just a suggestion, guys, no? Did you get already the media file link on the chat box? It's already pasted there, so you just save this folder. You could download one at a time. Okay? Sige. Now, sige. Let's continue. Let's just recall, no, some of the modules. Then later on, I might introduce an activity for you, for those who are online here. So, I know you're aware of this. Anyone who played this, guys? This is a sort of a timer. We're able to play this. Actually, it's a duck race, no? later on,
Not yet, sir.
the idea is that who won the race will answer the question. That's the so this is the winning that you don't like. The winning duck, which I will assign your names on the ducks that will race for 1 minute. Then they will answer my question regarding your assigned readings for module 7 and 8. Okay, so this is the winning that you don't like, guys. What do you think?
Men, sir.
Unless you have read the module, of course. Okay, sige dyan, no problem. Just reconnect. I know there are issues even in the province. No? It's really, issues in the connection. Okay, so later na yan, Doc. I don't know if we will push through with this duck race. No? Okay, later na yan. So this is the winning duck. The winning duck will answer my question. So that's the idea of that duck. I wonder if you could cheer for your own duck. Perhaps you will cheer from to the duck of the others, not yours, for them to win the race, and then the winning duck will answer my question. Okay, sounds weird, right? Because most cases, the winning duck, if you will be the winning duck, you will be happy. But for here, you'll be asked question. I will ask question about the readings. Okay, so just for in a way a lighter moment for our week 7. Now, let's continue. Muna, I think I need to let's pray, guys, for your classmate who are sick. AJ expressed his absence due to sickness perhaps or not feeling well. So let's pray for your classmates, no? So that you will be preserved until graduation, until you pass your board exam, until you practice your profession. You know, it's a sad story whenever a batchmate is sick or in fact died, no? In my case, I have my high school batchmates or who died at an early age. So that's not really a good. But you pray one to another so that you will be sustained by God's grace. Okay, welcome Melanie. Okay, so you pray one to another. I encourage you to pray because you may forget me. I repeat this once again. You may forget me or the rest of the professors, but your batchmates, no, they are closer to you. So you pray one to another so that the Lord will sustain you. Because in my case, I think out of when I was in high school, we are 100 initially enrolled. Then 18 of us was kicked out due to low grades. So we're just 82 that graduate from high school that time. And now I think there are 2 or 3 of us are died already at an early age. So yon. So it's really a sad story, no, for some of my batchmates. Even in my college batchmate, how much more? Some of my college batchmates died already at an early age. They have not really practiced their profession on the optimum sense. So guys, I would say that you pray one to another. Okay? So you remain strong. Perhaps during the homecoming or perhaps during the foundation day of Bethany, there will be homecoming celebrations. No? You will still see each other. No? Growing in the ministry perhaps or perhaps in the practice of the profession. Okay? So just a thought because AJ is sick, so you pray. I already prayed for AJ and some of you who are not really feeling well or some express their absence due to important activities of the church. I would accept that. I would understand that because for my case, I have reasons also no, to be well. My time is limited, no, because I have other concern. But no, by God's grace, we manage to meet each other. Though some of us may have really some commitments, prior commitments. But most especially for our batchmates who are sick, guys, you pray for them, ha? You pray for this for your batchmates.
Yes, sir.
Lalo na yung mga nagkakasakit. Ayaw natin na mawawala sila. No. Ako, you may forget me, but your batchmates, I don't think so. You may forget the rest of the professors. No, but your classmates, no, you must establish a longing relationship, a lasting relationship, no? So that we may have a stronger alumni or alumna. I don't know if Bethany has an alumni association. Do you have an idea?
I think, sir, yes, meron po.
Ayun. But of course, specific on your batch. Guys. So, iba pa rin yung kabatch mo. It's special when you have a batch. You're an alumnus or an alumna na on your own batch. And then sooner or later, you give back to your school what the Lord had blessed. Now, perhaps in terms of scholarships, now in terms of support to the ministry, yan, of the recent students. Okay, so just an idea. You will graduate sooner or later. You may, hopefully, you won't forget your alma mater, Bethany. And if you're already established and blessed by the Lord with so many things, you come back to your school. And perhaps you help other students, no, through scholarship foundation or ministry helps that you could provide. Okay, so that's just an idea. It's pop up in my mind now, so I'm just challenging you guys. No, don't. Sometimes students tend to forget their own alma mater when they already graduate and have has successes on their profession. They may forget the alma mater. But here, it's more special because this is a ministry and you come back. Okay, that's my thought on that. You become stronger one to another in prayer, guys. That's my thought. Because losing somebody who is your batchmate, it's really sad. In fact, even in my case, even though I'm not so close with the batchmate in high school or in college, no, it really a sad moment for the batch. Okay. Now, I will just look back on module 6 before we move to module 7. It seems my internet is also slow. I hope I could still communicate so that we have time for the docs. Okay, so module 6, by the way, guys, if you have, I suppose you have read this, and there are some test items that are incorporated on this, right? For module 6. This regarding learners with exceptionalities. So now, the advanced organizer would tell us the specific exceptionalities. No? Okay. One is what we call learning disabilities. Okay, this would refer, by the way, guys, yung learning exceptionality. Sorry. My cursor is not that. This is what we call specific cognitive. It's also found in your module, specific cognitive and academic difficulties. Okay? So we have much of this. It had been mentioned uh, on your module, these learning difficulties. Now that would include perception, language, now the language barrier. That's why some have speech difficulties, or even memory or sensory difficulties. Okay, as well as metacognition. So these are the disabilities, no, that we may have. Examples are mental retardation, emotional behavioral disorders, and sensory impairments. One example is your ADHD, your attention deficit disorder, hyperactivity disorder, difficulty in focusing, no, some of our children, and maintaining attention, and recurrent hyperactive and impulsive behavior, meaning recurrent, paulit-ulit na behavior. Okay, I don't know if you already visited to yung mga ganitong mga home care facilities where they are catering through this type of difficulties for, I don't know, may mga shelter na mga ganito, no? May mga cases were you able uh, to visit one of these home cares that actually caters through the person with specific needs, no? Wala ba sa inyo nag-specialize guys ng special education?
None, sir.
Wala
None po.
naman. Ikaw major in, walang major yan, no? Or Gen Ed lang siya? General,
Yes po. Gen
okay.
Ed lang po.
Gen Ed.
Yes po.
Kasi, I think there's a new course that will be offered by Bethany. I think it's a special education. Or I think, no. Hindi SPED eh. Early childhood
po,
pala.
sir. ESET po.
Oh, early childhood pala. Early childhood, not SPED. No, kasi ibang paradigm nun eh. Ayan, okay. So, of course, nandiyan naman sa notes natin, no, speech and communication difficulties, no? That's why some need to have some therapies. Autism, no? There are also emotional behavioral difficulties. Autism. In fact, my child is an autistic child. That's why he has sensory problems. No? Sometimes in the background, naririnig nyo may sumisigaw. No? I don't know if you could listen. So, it's my child who has some sensory issues. And the way that he could react on a particular stimulus is through verbal communication. Because autism is spectrum, meaning varied yung kanyang, there's a variation of the cases. It varied from walang salita at until yung mga puro masalita. Now, in my case, the type of my son is on that speech, verbal siya. Verbal autistic. No, he's not non-verbal kasi some are not really responding through verbal communication. But my child, nasobrahan naman. So, kaya ganun. Sometimes may mga noise, may mga sounds siyang nakikreate na sometimes it's not really kumbaga dun sa intended na normal communication. Okay? So yan. So we have that condition also. So we need the really deep sense of compassion whenever you are handling special or children with special needs. No, we need to have more sensitivity, more compassion. Okay? So yan yon. If you will be called to this ministry, it will be a good opportunity for you to serve the church by catering if there are children who have special needs, no? So you could cater to this. In my case, that's why my tendency is to teach in the college because I have difficulties, no, in teaching kids. In my case, no, so I realized that when my pastor before, way back several years ago, when I was asked to teach a children's class, you know what happened? Guess what, guys? The children enjoyed my lecture. Is it positive? They learned something about a biblical story, a Bible story. They learn something about Christ. Okay? However, in my part, I really have I felt really difficult on executing this. No. Natuwa, the children are happy. I'm so sorrowful on my part. You know what? Because I'm too nervous to teach kids. I have that my my sense of patience is not that high that I could manage uh, even hyperactive kids in our church before. So I asked the pastor, maybe pastor, you could ask me to teach teens or adult where I will be much fitted rather than teaching in a children's class, because my perhaps my span of my patience is not that long. At the same time, it distracts me on my case. Now, whenever there are, the children that are hyperactive, no, it's common even in our situation, right, guys? These children are roaming around. They're they're creating much noises, no. That's why at that early point of my ministry, no, the Lord directed me to handle the adult class or the teens where I will be much fitted. But my point, guys, if you will be in this ministry, it will be a blessed ministry where you have your longer patience and compassion to these children that has specific cognitive and academic difficulties as well. Okay? So you have also, aside from that, under this category, of course, it's now on your notes, I don't need to mention that. So ADHD and speech communication is under the specific cognitive difficulty. Another is excuse me, the social and emotional difficulties. Of course, the behavioral, where autism is part, no? So autism is here, wherein ADHD is here. Okay? And also the speech communication, speech disorders is part of cognitive difficulties and learning disabilities as well. In fact, it's in your notes, no problem. Now, autism, and then of course, also part of which is your emotional disorders and mental retardation. And then your emotional disorders. Okay? So those are some of the items here on module. Then of course we have physical disabilities, no? Aside from that, another category of difficulties is physical disabilities and health impairments, which includes, of course, the sensory impairments such as visual, so yung pagkabulag, and then yung hearing impairments, yung pagkabingi. No? And then, of course, another category is giftedness, wherein this involves a high level of cognitive development, high aptitude, no, high academics, high creativity, high visual arts, or perhaps leadership. So yan yung content natin. So what a more important item here is the people first language. I think we need to consider that people first language. Okay, there are items here that we could address these people. In fact, this is a socio-cultural. No, but I would say it will be nice also to make use of people first language, though the nature of is more on socio-cultural. No? So this language trend involves putting the person first, not the disability. That's why people first language. We emphasize on the people rather than the disability. Of course, there's a psychosocial implication if you will uh, imply on the disability rather than the people. Kaya maganda guys na pang-address itong people first language so that we could address also the sensitivities of these people. Now, for instance, an example would be avoiding perhaps person with AIDS rather than AIDS victim. As the example of our book. Or people with mental retardation is preferable to mentally retarded. Yan, kasi we're focusing on the people, not the difficulties itself. Okay, I think this is also part of our sensitivities as well as educators. No. I think this is a good concept even though the root of this is socio-cultural. No? Emphasizing on abilities, not limitation. For instance, uses a wheelchair is preferable to confined to a wheelchair. Kunyari, Peter uses a wheelchair rather than Peter is confined to a wheelchair or is stuck in a wheelchair. No? So, it's more appropriate to use on the abilities to emphasize their abilities rather than their limitation. And then thirdly, you have avoiding euphemisms or such as physically challenged, which are regarded as condescending and avoiding real terms that result from disability. So yung mga technical terms masyado, wag na i-avoid natin siya. And then avoiding implying illness or suffering. Had a polio is preferable to become a polio victim, or has a multiple scoliosis, preferable to suffer from multiple scoliosis. Okay? So I think this is a good idea guys whenever we encounter pupils with special needs or difficulties. No? So we could make use of the people first language. I think this is a good item for us to consider. Okay? So yun lang yan. And then let's go back. Do you have comments on Module 6? This part of your prelim exam, I hope you have read all of the modules, no, guys? May tanong nga ako sa inyo. Sa isang upuan, ilang oras kayong makakatagal magbasa? How long could you read on one sitting? How long could you read, guys? In one sitting. For instance, you're reading Christian literature.
1.5 hours, sir.
So, Niera would say 1.5 hours. I think that's long already. It's long. That's without break. It's a continuous reading. How about others?
Kung love mo po magbasa, sir.
Yeah. Saka your interest is on that particular subject area.
Yes, sir.
In fact, as for me, if I have time, I would read calculus books. I've read more calculus books than history books or mathematics books more than any other subject matter books, even education books. So yan, so I could read all of the exercises, how they solve the problem, no? That's weird, no? Because most of your English language major and we have one LM major here. So it sounds weird. But for us math majors who are not present now, what happened to my math majors? Okay, Module 5, guys. I'm just recapping backwards, and then we have time for the duck race. Is your multiple intelligences and learning and thinking styles. I think this is a good subject matter for you to consider also. In fact, in the advanced organizer, you have already the chance of having a bird's eye view of the course. So for each of the modules, it's organized to have this advanced organizer. Can you see? Did you notice for every module, guys? You have an advanced organizer, meaning you have already the connecting points for each of the topics. Did you notice that? Kaya I highly recommend this book eh. This book. Ayan. Yan yung in-scan natin. Talagang though I'm not an endorser of the book, but I have high respect on the how they organize the book, perhaps emphasizing this high organizer, no? So from looking at the high organizer, we could see the topic for module 5 is all about student diversity. Then student diversity is divided into two categories of multiple intelligences. In fact, there are modern concepts on our intelligences na hindi na siya intelligent. Ang tawag natin smart. Now, we could refer them to smart kids rather than just giving them or telling them that they're intelligent. So, they're smart kids. Yan yung mas modern term, guys. And then, you have learning and thinking styles. We also learn under learning thinking styles. Now, I hope you notice that I have a test item there that differentiates the left and the right brain hemispheres. Did you notice, guys? There's a test item on your prelim exam.
Yes po, sir.
Okay, the
Yes
left brain
po.
are more analytic. I'm a left brain. I'm a more linear on how I approach things. The right brain are so-called more creative, global on their approach. Looking on different aspects of a particular situation, how they anticipate. But for us linear, we focus on the input process output of a particular situation, then move to another situation. No? Rather than looking on a macro perspective, a particular situation that will make you global. And connecting the points, the dots. Then expressing creativity. Though I'm not saying that left brain are not creative. Though our left brains are more focused on linear thinking rather than global thinking. We tend to focus on one process at a time. No? Right brain are more spontaneous, simultaneous on their thinking. No? And then we also have the sensory preferences. No? By this time, you know already, guys, whether you are audio, you're visual, or audio visual. Guys, in your learning
Yes
learning
po,
curve.
sir.
Yes, by this time you
Yes
should know
po.
that, no? So, well, for me, what do you think? Am I visual, audio, or audio visual? Guys, if you will evaluate me as a learner, not as a professor, of course.
Audiovisual, sir.
How about others?
Same, sir.
Okay. So, yeah. But I'm a more of a audio. More of an audio learner, and then it's geared towards an audio to audio visual. Parang yung sa akin kasi pag makita ko confirmation na lang. It's just confirmatory when I saw a particular information. But the initiation of learning in my case is through hearing it, listening to it. That's why sometimes okay. So John is a globe user. But John, you're also a global learner, John, no? What do you think? Pero siya ay gumagamit ng globe. Iba yung globe. Ano yun? Telco yun. Ayan, nawala ang internet ni Name, no? So anyway, you just catch up. Anyway, that's the purpose of recorded sessions. I will upload this to the YouTube. Guys, you like my YouTube channel, the ministry YouTube channel. Actually, it's not mine. I'm just the
Yes, sir.
custodian. You like naman para kung dumami yung subscribers. Saka anyway, it's a monetized channel already. Don't skip on the ads. It will help also grow the ministry, the online ministry. Anyway, it's a monetized channel already. Okay, so some of you have problems on the internet. Now, I'm more of an audio leading to audio visual. Because for me, the initiation of learning is through hearing. No, just like the gospel, no, whenever conversion is taking place, it's by the hearing and hearing of God's word. Same as true with my academic learning. No, I tend to learn whenever I hear it correctly and confirm it through visuals. That's how I learn. That's why it's more on audio, gearing towards audio visual. But not necessarily visual. Pag visual, walang I cannot hear it. Something's wrong on my learning. But when I hear it clearly, the visual becomes just a confirmatory information. Okay, that's my case. Okay? So but for you, some of you are audio visual or visual. So it's no problem. There's no higher learners. That depends on of course the makeup of a learner. What compose of a learner? Her background perhaps, her mindset, etc. His behavior, etc. So there's no higher learner. We may not say that the visual is better than the audio because there are cases that you need really to listen to an information before you confirm it through visual learning. Okay? Do I make sense, guys? But as for me, I'm more of an audio towards audio visual. Parang ganun. Audio towards audio visual. Ganun siya. Kaya nga, na-apply ko rin yan whenever on the church services. I don't usually look at the preacher. I just listen to the preacher. Whenever the preach word is being preached. No? I learn from listening to it rather than just looking at the preacher. But sometimes I need to look at the preacher so that it may confirm some informations that have not supplied through listening. So we must have, guys, the point is that we must have a balance between these two sensory learning, whether by hearing or by visual. You cannot be fully visual and you cannot be fully just audio. Cannot be. Now, there must be a greater proportion of one to another, but in my case, it's more of an audio towards audio-visual. Now, it's a proportion, guys. What initiates what? So, in my case, it's the audio that initiates the learning and confirmed through visuals. Now, make it audio-visual. Parang ganun. Okay? Do I make sense, guys?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Hoping you could learn something on me, no, as a learner also. I'm more of a visual, audio towards audio visual. So for visual, no, they have different parameters, no. I suppose you read about this already. For audio learners, no, dalawa pa nga yan, talkers or listeners. No? What do you think of me, guys? I'm a talker or a listener? Yes, of course, as a professor, no, I'm more of a talker. Pero as a student kaya, if you evaluate me as a learner.
Listener, sir.
Yes, it's obvious because I'm an audio learner. I tend to listen more rather than just communicate. In fact, in my early childhood, I'm more of an introvert. I'm an introvert pupil. You know what? I tend not to communicate. I tend to be isolated. That's why Mrs. Bostre also isolate me. No, you know Mrs. Bostre, no, guys? Or do you recall Mrs. Bostre? Walang nakaalala sa inyo kay Mrs. Bostre? My grade 1 teacher. Okay, siguro issues talaga sa internet, no? So anyway, for those who cannot reconnect, I will upload immediately this recorded session, no? Yun lang, limitation of our bandwidth. I'm just using 10 megabits per second. So hopefully I could upload. But for downloads 10 megabits, for upload is a little bit slower, no? For a copper connection, DSL connection. So guys, yan yung importance sa module 5, no? So more on this. Noted on that, Maureen. So you just catch up. So ayan. So hopefully you learn something on module 5 as you read, as you recall, no? So these are So iconic, it's more on concrete imagery, visual imagery, while symbolic is more on abstract. No, pag visual at math major ka, you becoming visual symbolic. Pero kung sa arts, you're geared towards creative arts, visual iconic. Yan yung ating ano dyan. So as teachers, you need to be talkers, guys, also. A right balance of talkers and listeners. No? Because from time to time, we change mode. As a learner, we listen. As a teacher, you talk, you communicate. No? You need to practice. You need to be flexible in these two shifting duties or responsibilities. Sometimes it is guys, I just need to answer this call. No? Wait for a while lang po. Guys, sorry for that interruption. So, let's continue, no? So, yeah, no? So, sometimes we need to switch mode from learning and teaching. Even if you're the teacher of the classroom, sometimes you need to learn from your students also. So, there must be a flexibility of this role of teacher and learner. So, we don't need to be rigid because not all the time I'm a teacher here. Sometimes I'm learning from you also. So I tend to listen rather than just to talk. Now also if you will be handling classes, that's the way. You should also listen to your pupils or to your students. So it's a flexibility how you manage this. You cannot be rigid talkers or just rigid listeners. No, there must be flexibility on this. No? Though, ayan, it change roles talaga, no? So as listeners, no, so that's the responsibility of the learners in the school. But sometimes we need to communicate the information for clarification. And we learn too by communicating this information. Okay? Then we have I think this had been a matching type test for you about left brain and right brain. Guys, walang may sumagot sa inyo ng pareho ha. It should be just one answer per column. So it will be a wrong answer if you answer both. No, it should be mutually exclusive, meaning if it's a left brain, no, it's not for right brain. Okay, one of the test items included there, no. So these are left brain is more analytic, and right brain is global or simultaneous. Now we tend to become more sequential and linear, in our learning. For global, no, it could be random, could respond to process information in varied order. It's not the same manner, just like uh, left brains are always processing in linear sense. Sunod-sunod, may order. Kaya pitted talaga yung numerical learning sa analytic learning sa left brain. Sa right brain is more on creative side, random, gestures, no? And other things. Nandiyan naman yan, page 64 of your module, it's there. And then the multiple intelligences, no, by Garner, no? It had been we don't use anymore the intelligences but the smart. Okay, visual intelligence meaning picture smart, verbal is word smart, mathematical is number or logic smart, kinesthetic or body smart, musical smart, intrapersonal is self smart, interpersonal is people smart. Then we have these two, no? Naturalist or nature smart, and then existential or spirit smart. So naturalist intelligence pick up the subtle difference in meaning. It is not simply the study of nature, it can be used in all areas of study. So yung mga differences ng meaning. So naturalist. Existential, learning by seeing the big picture. No, so looking at the meta-narrative. So more on spirit smart. Okay, so that's for chapter 5. Then I think module 4, we already discussed this about student diversity, no? Student diversity. I think last portion of which we discussed regarding their individual differences factors, their diversity in classroom, as well as some strategies that we could employ in addressing this student diversity. Okay, so all right. So So we have time for this. What do you think, guys? Sige, I will set this up, no? Then we will siguro 1 or 2 questions. So those who are here, biglang nawala yung iba. Ba't ganun? Natakot kayo dun sa race ng pato, guys? Huwag kayong matakot dito. Natakot ba kayo?
Hindi po, sir.
Pambihira yan, no? Hindi pa nga nagsisimula yung race natin, eh.
No, sir.
Teka lang. Wait. Apat na lang tayo, ah. Apat na lang pala kayo. Rena. Okay, so anyway, sige. So you cheer somebody's duck, ha? Kasi cheering your duck, it means if you will win, you will answer the question. That's the rule. Okay, make sense? So apat lang. Niera, Ana, Jonathan, and Rena. So you are the part of the race, no? Let's wait for them, no? Include na lang natin sila. Okay, so for 1 minute. So you could cheer your own duck, guys. Parang ayaw yung i-cheer yung pato nyo, ah.
ibang duck, sir.
Ibang duck. Ayan. Tingnan nyo muna yung mga pato nyo. Okay.
Amen.
Si Rena, pambira, office duck to, ah. Si Jonathan, bee duck. Parang bubuyog. Si Ana, Santa Claus duck. At yung kay Niera, yun yung normal duck. Pambira, iba-iba pala to, no? Okay, sige. You cheer your somebody's duck. Okay, for 1 minute. Ayan, sino na nauuna? Ang bilis ng pato ni Jonathan, ah. No, Joy. Ayun,
No!
Sino kayang natin mananalo, no? Wala nang pumasok, ah. Kapat lang kayo. Ang biyan, natakot dun sa pato. Sino kaya? Last mukhang yung bubuyog ni Jonathan medyo mabilis, ah. Saka yung office duck ni hindi, bumagal. Si Santa duck pala to. Kaya Ayun, yung office duck. Si office duck, ah. Nako. Ayan na. Okay. Congratulations, Rena May. I will ask you the first question. Teka, tuloy-tuloy pa to, ah. Sige, remove na kita. Remove duck. Pero, nawala. Hindi siya na-remove, no? Anyway. Nawala si Rena May. Oy, Rena, ikaw ang sasagot. Nasaan na yun? Hintayin natin. Mukhang nakatunog si Rena May, ah. Ba't kayo ganyan, guys? Pag tinatanong kayo, ganun ba talaga? Ha? Niera, what do you think?
Hindi po, sir.
Nagkataon lang. Internet
No
issues
po.
siguro.
Baka po, kasi mahina na rin po yung internet na, sir, kanina.
Sige, race
On
na lang
and off
ulit tayo
po siya
ulit, ha?
kanina sa Google Meet.
Race na lang tayo. Sige.
Volunteer na.
Volunteer. Maganda nga minsan. Ito, patas talaga to kasi patas to. Kaysa yung mag-assign ako, minsan mas patas to. Karera ng siguro gawin kong 30 minutes, seconds na lang to. Ay, hindi na. Sige, anyway, sige. So, magpalit tayo ng pwesto siguro. Shuffle characters. Ayan, okay ba? Mas kakaiba yung mga pattern. So, yung kay Ana, it's a rooster duck. Meron palang ganun, no? Kay Rena. Ano ba tong kay Rena? Anong klaseng pato to?
Parang ano yan, sir? Parang Power Ranger.
Power Ranger
English
duck.
pa yan, sir.
Ganun ba? Kenyera, ano to? Parang ano eh. Ano ba yan? Yung marching soldier, parang ganun. Kay Jonathan, green
Opo,
duck.
sir, marching
Napakasimple
band.
nung kay ano. Marching duck yung kay ano. Sige, go. Start na tayo. Pag si Rina May, siya pa rin nauna dito, sa kanya talaga yung tanong. Dapat pala, binawasan ko ng kahit 30 seconds lang dapat. Anyway. Sino nang ano dyan? Okay, no? So, sino na? Mahina talaga yung connection ni Rena May.
Naka-data daw po siya, sir.
Oo nga eh. Sino kaya?
Po nawawala yung internet niya. Joy! Tantanana!
Ayan. Yung green duck. Ang bira. Congratulations, green duck. Okay. At least may nanalo na tayo.
Wait, sir.
Madali lang naman yung tanong ko eh. Module 7 lang tayo. Ayan. Jonathan, will you explain in simple term Pavlov's experiment regarding behaviorism?
Pavlov, sir. Saan po yun yung sa may ano po? Sa aso po ba?
In any
Tama po ba
yes,
yun?
yes, could be. Yes. Maraming variation yun eh. Sige. So yun yung tatlong step niya.
Wait. Behaviorism, sir, the negative and positive reinforcement po ba? Tama po ba?
Tama. Yes.
So, sa behaviorism, we have negative and positive reinforcement. The first reinforcement or the positive one is when the dog is making a good ano ba? When a dog is making a good progress or obeying his master, the master gives a treat.
Okay. Yes.
Tama po ba, sir?
Tama.
And then in the negative reinforcement po, if the dog misbehaves, the master punishes the dog. Tama po ba?
Negative reinforcement. Or perhaps withhold some privileges. What do you think?
Apo.
So it could either, kasi medyo marahas yun kung anin mo agad, no? It will withhold some privileges na dati niyang na-acquire because of the misbehavior ay
Wala nang treat.
nawawalan siya ng privilege. Yan, could be. Okay,
Yes,
so paano mo ma-apply to sa ano? What would be its application to the learning of the students?
For the students po, our teachers are encouraging us to give some treats whenever they answer correctly the questions or they have recitations. We give them some candies, just like what Ma'am Lilia is doing in the class. But there's some negative effects po when the students become used to it.
Okay.
What if someday you can give them treats, di ba? So you just have to give them treats in the first parts of the class po. That's how it is po.
Okay, sige. Actually, maganda naman yon. May prinsipyo dyan. It's more on the motivation of the students. No, though we cannot really guarantee yung behavioral response ng mga estudyante. Nandito pa ba sila, international students natin? Jane and Clay is around? Not around, no?
Wala po,
So,
sir.
puro all Pinoy tayo
Pilipino po
dito.
lang.
Namimiss ko na naman yung non-English ko eh. Pinoy kasi ko eh, ba't hindi kasi ako pasalata ng English, no? At anyway, so yun, tama yung observation na yan, no? So it's more on motivation. And perhaps this reward system for a learner or a teacher, facilitator of learning could be varied para hindi siya palaging ina-anticipate. We could have variation on that. Okay? Katulad ng ginawa ko dati, roleta. 'Di ba? Roleta siya. Ngayon ginawa ko naman pato. So there are variations, no, from time to time. No, pero ang purpose nun still to motivate the learner. Okay?
Yes.
Now, yung Palbob experiment, makikita natin sa module natin about this situation, what happened. Now, first is the bell. Now, there's what we call neutral stimulus. Does not make sense to the dog. No, walang relation kasi yung bell dun sa pagkain eh. So, does not make sense to him. However, when the bell, the neutral is paired to a particular item like food or meat, we call it unconditioned stimulus. Now, then, the response would be yung maglalawa yung dog because of the meat or the food. Na salivation na tinatawag or unconditioned response. Okay? So eventually the dog would relate the bell to the meat or the food. So eventually there's this correlation between the bell and the meat such that when he listens to the bell, alam niya na there's a corresponding meat or pair. No, kaya ngayon sa third level, yun yung after conditioning. So during the conditioning process, yung dog ay yung bell nare-relate dun sa pagkain. Then afterwards, tanggalin mo na yung unconditioned stimulus na pagkain. No, kahit marinig niya pa lang yung bell, magre-respond na siya agad even without verifying whether there is meat paired with the bell. So that is the classical conditioning of Pavlov's experiment. So, yun yung makikita natin dyan. So there's an explanation here. Maybe you have read already on page 81. Okay, another race, no? So, Rena, you're here na. So, nakasagot na si
Yes po.
Jonathan, no? So, tatlo na lang kayo. Ni Laniera, ni Ana, saka ni Rena. Okay. Sayang to kasi hindi ko Anyway, it's just a 1-minute race. Sige. Okay na to. So, palitan uli natin tong character. Ayan. So, medyo appropriate, no? Tama ba? Yung kay Ana, bear type na duck, no? Kay Rena, isa pink duck. Kay Niera. Ano tong kay Niera? Grand
Parang professor.
professor duck or a grandpa duck, parang ganun. Old duck. Something like that. Okay.
Lolo duck po.
Lolo duck. Okay, sige. Tingnan natin. Okay, you could cheer with somebody's duck. Ayun, umuusad yung pink duck ah. Nako. By the way guys, if you will handle as younger kids, now this is okay siya. At marami sila. mga pupils.
Yes, sir. Nakakuha po ako ng idea for
Diba?
Sunday School.
Yes. Sa online. Uy, nako. Si Bear ba to? Bear Duck? Ana, your turn. My next question. Ay, di pa tumitigil si Duck, ha? Teka lang. Kasi dalawa na lang sila susunod, eh. Ana, you're there? Ana, can you hear us? O DC na si Ana. Ana, are you there? Are you still online?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ana, yes. Oh, yung duck mo yung nanalo. So I'll ask you a question.
Yes po.
Okay. Can you tell us a summary of Thorndike's theory of connectionism? Just or perhaps you could elaborate, or perhaps you could briefly state the laws that is related to Thorndike's theory of connectionism.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, can you tell us something about Thorndike's theory of connectionism?
Sorry, sir. I'm not really familiar.
It's part of what we call behaviorism. On your module 7, it's part of our supposedly reading assignment regarding connectionism. So we have 3 laws. Can you mention just the 3 laws of Thorndike's theory?
In behaviors.
May 3 kasi yung si Thorndike, eh.
Yes. I remember po.
Sige. Sige, what comes in your mind first? What law is that? So, the first law is something to do with the relation of stimuli and responses. The stimulus initiated by the teacher and the response initiated, of course, the response is on the end of the learner. So, ano sinasabi dito ni Thorndike?
Conditioning po.
That's the law of? Parang malakas yung bass mo, Ana. Malakas yung bass nung mic mo. I'm not so sure if that's a static or the bass of your mic.
Baka po sa mic.
Baka sa mic. Okay. What do you call that? What do you call that law? We're connecting the stimuli or the stimulus initiated by the teacher and the respond. And mostly, konektado doon kay Pavlov's experiment ito, na kung saan magkakaroon siya ng reinforcement in terms of positive reward na tinatawag doon sa bata. Kapag initiate mo, actually nabanggit ko na yung sagot, teacher initiation of learning that would elicit response to the student. Okay? Do I make sense? How do you call that law? That's the law of?
Respond.
No. Actually, this law states the stimuli respond connections. So, if there are a particular stimulus, there will be a corresponding response. And the response could be strengthened through these positive reinforcements na tinatawag. That's the law of?
Effect.
The law of effect. Yan. Nandyan din yan sa notes natin, no? So, yan yung law of effect. Connection between stimulus and the response is weakened when the consequence is negative. So kapag merong positive reinforcement, kapag negative yung consequence, nababawasan din yung connection between stimulus and response. Okay? So yan yung nasa module 7 natin na Thorndike's theory. What's the other law aside from the law of effect? O sige, hindi na ako kasi dalawa na lang tong dito eh. Si Rena na lang sa Kasinyera. O sige, paano pa ako? Last race na to. Ayan, sige, thank you Ana for your participation. But this time, it's one-on-one between Rena and Yera. Who would answer the next question?
Amen.
Oh, it may be the grandpa duck versus the pink duck. Actually, maraming timer to. You could dito sa saan ba tong website na to? onlinestopwatch.com. So there are other options. No? Siguro napili ko lang tong pato eh. Okay. Ayan na. Malakas manalangin si Nyera. Parang proportion to sa panalangin ng bawat isa eh. Malakas si Nyera, manalangin. Galing, prayer, no? Kaya si Rina nanalo. O Rina, ikaw ang sasagot ng huling tanong. Teka, maano pa yung pato. Restart na to. Teka, ano ba to? Yan. Okay, can you say something about law of exercise? Rina May. Tell something about law of exercise and its connection to the law of effect under Thorndike's theory.
Wala po, sir. I cannot.
Sorry. You cannot hear me. Teka, my audio is not clear pala.
Hindi po.
Yung law of exercise, it's the second law under Thorndike's theory. So can you say something about that? And how it affects the learning of a student or a pupil? No, kasi meron na tayong stimulus-response connection under the law of effect. No? So ano ngayon yung nangyayari dito sa law of exercise? Okay, make sense?
I can remember, sir.
Pag halimbawa, yung meron ng stimulus, may initiation from the teacher, and then may response sa learner. At ito ay keeps on a repetitive sense. Nagkaroon ng in a continuous fashion, nagkaroon ng what we call normalization among the student. That becomes an instinct to the student to respond in the initiation of the teacher. Okay? So, yun yung makikita natin dyan. So, ano ngayon yung kaibahan niya dun sa Kasing effect, nakita lang natin yung epekto ng stimulus and response connection. But for law of exercise from the word itself, this is more on repetitive process. Inuulit natin, no? Kaya nagkakaroon siya ng stronger connection yung ating stimulus and response. Sabi nga ng book, practice makes perfect. Because, kumbaga, sinanay mo yung estudyante, the teacher initiate learning, and then the student responds in a repetitive fashion na tinatawag. Okay? Ayan. However, no, so like the law of effect, the law of exercise also had to be revised when Thorndike found that practice without feedback does not necessarily enhance performance. No, kasi nga itong system na ito is linear system. Stimulus and then response. So hindi na consider ni Thorndike yung tinatawag natin na feedback. So there must be a feedback to be inputted again to the source or the initiation of the stimulus na i-incorporate yun doon sa initiation ng stimulus ng learning. Kumbaga mag-a-adjust yung teacher based on the feedback. Okay? Based on the feedback at may enhance yung learning, yung performance ng bata. Normally, the feedback in terms of clarification or questions raised from the student themselves or perhaps other response that we may have as part of their feedback mechanism. No, yun kasi yung nag-enhance ng learning, yung feedback. Kung naunawaan ba talaga ng learner yung initiation ng teacher in terms of stimulus-respond connection. Okay? Make sense? Rena May? That's part of your module 7. It's part of your module 7. Okay, noted ba? Okay, last question. Sige, Niera.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell something about law of readiness. That's the third law of Thorndike. Churi.
Okay po. Sa law of readiness po, sir, learners po, individuals, learn best when they are physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to learn. And they are not, and they do not learn well if they see no reason for learning. For example, in a classroom, the teacher is asking for recitation, and the teacher is asking a question on the specific student. Yung bigla niya po, parang it's something like that na yung hindi pa po nag-a-answer yung student, bigla ka nang nag-react agad. So the teacher should be wait for a few seconds before calling or anyone to answer the questions po. Para ready din po yung learner and the students dun sa isasagot niya. Yun po yung pinapractice ng law of readiness.
Tama yung sinabi mo. Actually, ganyan ako eh. Initially, I'm slow in thinking. Kaya nga si Mrs. Bostre, medyo naiinis sa akin nun. Kasi hindi agad daw sumasagot. Minsan, yung initiation ko ng learning, yung thinking ko, mabagal pa. Hindi katulad ng ibang estudyante. Pero pag naisip ko na yun, dire-diretso na yun. Kaya sometimes, kapag pinaprompt ka ng teacher na, nag-bat in yung ibang estudyante, ma'am, ako na lang ang sasagot, si Marin, hindi niya pa alam. Negative sa akin yun. Instead na nakasagot ako, kung hihintay lang ako ni Mrs. Bostre. No, kilala niyo naman si Mrs. Bostre, guys, no? Tama ba? Nakwento ko na sa inyo si Mrs. Bostre.
Yes po, sir.
Sige, yun. So, kala ko di nyo pa alam yung napakagaling na teacher na yun. Ginawa sa akin. So, ganun siya. No, talagang, si Marin, hindi pa handa. Talaga nga naman, di nag-aral itong batang ito eh. O sige, ikaw na lang, Nestor. Ikaw na lang sumagot. So, ganun. Parang ganun yung sinasabi mo na on his mind, still on the process. You need to wait. You need to make some flexibility para ma-process ng learner yung tanong na yon, and then eventually makapag-express siya. Okay? So, yung readiness importante kasi, no? One factor is motivation also. If the student is motivated, no? Halimbawa, pag may sakit ang learner, definitely less motivation yan. Pag not feeling well ang learner, kaya minsan aalamin din natin yung, lalo na kayo guys, when you will be handling pupils, you need to know at least the health of your learners. Linalagnat ka pala, ba't pumasok ka pa? Dapat, punta ka muna ng clinic. No, kasi yung learning process, apektado nun eh. Halimbawa, nasi CR break pala. Yan, yung mga ganong aspect sa mga bata, nangyayari yun. Lalo na sa ating matatanda, it's also applicable. No? So, sabi nga dito, sa module natin, this states that more readiness the learner has to respond to stimulus, the stronger will be the bond between them. The readiness and the response. So, yung anticipation nandun, no? Yung readiness. When a person is ready to respond to a stimulus and is not made to respond, it becomes annoying to that person. Okay, so I'll read from this. For example, if the teacher says, okay, we will now watch the movie you have been waiting for, and suddenly the power goes off. So, nag-brown out. Yung paborito nilang palabas pa lang papanoorin. So, yung respond niya, ready na mag-respond eh. Kaya lang, nawala yung stimulus dahil brown out. Di ba? Ano yun? Ano bang tawag doon? Sa parang nakakainis, no? Yung situation na ganun. Kapag nawala yung stimulus. So, yun yung epekto niya. Isang example to. The students will feel frustrated because they were ready to respond to the stimulus but was prevented by doing so. Likewise, if the person is not at all ready, yung sinasabi ni Niera, to respond to stimuli and asked to respond, that also becomes annoying. Okay? So, yun yung, sige. I think you have 1 o'clock class, guys, no? Tama ba?
Yes po.
Yes.
You have all 1 o'clock class? Okay, sige, ganito. So, since I already mentioned this, again, continue reading on chapter module 7, guys. In fact, during our exam, I mentioned this, to read on module 7 and 8. So, again, I will repeat. This time, you read
Yes po,
module
sir.
7, 8, and 9. Okay, dagdagan na natin ng 9. Okay, basa lang kayo. Kasi naman from reading,
Okay
you could
po.
always learn something and you have something to say when you're asked. Now, I will still use the ducks next time, guys. Hindi kasi nakita ng iba ito eh. No, kayo lang nakita nito. Itong ano natin, duck race natin. Okay? So, that's my reading assignment. Is for you to read on module 7, 8, and 9. Though I may not discuss that yet, at least you're ready. Diba? Yun nga yung law of readiness eh. Kaya yung response nyo, hindi mahirap. Tama, guys? Hindi mahirap kasi dapat nakahanda ka na. Inihanda ka na doon sa
Yes po.
appropriate response. In fact, this had been given to you last week during our exam. I asked you to read module 7 and 8. Though hindi ko lang siya re-record, pero tandang-tanda ko yon. So now I'm repeating again for those students who will view this because you're not around, you read on module 7, 8, and 9. Okay? So that you will be ready for the duck race next week. Okay? Make sense to you, guys?
Yes, sir.
The 4 of
Noted po.
you, that becomes the 3 of you na lang. Okay? So, sige. So, tuloy-tuloy lang natin ito by next week. Okay? So, yan. Anyway, I'll be uploading these notes also. Maraming important aspects dito na dapat nyong so, yan. Yung mga yan. Ito naman, review lang yan eh. Module 5, Module 6. I just have a back kumbaga pagtanaw, paglingon sa likuran, no? Pero dapat nandito na tayo sa 7 eh. Okay? Sige, other concerns? Let's pray for your AJ is not feeling well. I think sino pa ba yung nag-message sa atin? I just mentioned the no. Okay, John Howell has connection issues also. A while ago, Clay is busy. No, until now, no. So let's pray for them also. Generally, I will be praying for them. Meron pang isa eh. I think sa group chat. Guys, pag personal issue, wag kayong mag-group chat. Pag personal concern, you could PM me, ha? PM lang ako. Wag sa group chat. Kasi general concern yung group chat.
Yes po, sir.
Eunice also, yan, sa group chat niya na i-send. Sabihan nyo rin iba. Pag personal concern, PM. Pag general, sa group chat. Okay, preparation for church anniversary. Yan ang kay Eunice. So, busy si Eunice sa church preparation for anniversary. AJ is not feeling well. Okay, who else? Is Marin around? Connection issue din, no? Talaga nga naman, no? Actually, may time, remember? Ako na-disconnect. Did you recall that? Na-disconnect din ako.
Yes po, sir. Mahina po kasi talaga yung internet po sa Bethany, sir.
Yes. Sige, I understand. Also, yes, who else is here? Ayan, so Rena is, okay, welcome back. So, okay, let's close in a word of prayer, no? I will be praying generally for the concerns of our students, your classmates. So, you pray for them also. Okay? Let's close. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity that we have some learning activity for this course, EDU115. I hope and pray, Lord, that you will be gracious to us, be merciful to us as we continue as these students, some of which are not feeling well, particularly AJ. I pray for your mercy, your healing grace to him, Lord. Eunice is busy for the church anniversary. John Howell has problem with the connection, and Marin as well, and some other uh, students. Clay has also have been doing some important task that he may not be connected, and some other, Lord, that they have important things to do. That's why they have not part of our online session. But for those who are here, Lord, I pray for your special blessing to them, for their faithfulness and for their participation for this learning and teaching process on this course. We thank you, Lord, for your grace. Thank you for your presence. Continually minister to our hearts and our thoughts and actions so that it will be worth glorifying your name through the Lord Jesus Christ. This is our prayer in Christ's name. Amen. Okay, thank you so much, guys. No? So since
Thank you
12:30,
po, sir.
I owe you 30 minutes. We'll meet by 9:30
Opo,
next
sir.
Friday. Okay? For week number 8. Okay? So
Okay po,
don't forget
sir.
your reading assignments, ha?
Correct po.
Okay, bye-bye. God bless.
Bye, sir.
Okay, bye-bye. God bless.